Hello again. I've been doing a little bit of Googling, and I wanted to find out when Barry Soetoro legally changed his name back to Barack Hussein Obama. And I found an article that I'm going to read to you. I think it's very interesting. The fact that Obama was adopted by Indonesia Lolo Soetoro in the 1970s, and his name was legally changed to Barry Soetoro at that time. Now, it's most likely the reason he is spending millions of dollars to hide his birth certificate. He never filed the papers to change his name back to Barack Hussein Obama Jr. So any birth certificate produced by the state of Hawaii would list him as, quote, Barry Soetoro, end of quote. Especially since the certificate of live birth was generated after the fact. It should have reflected his new name, which was never changed back. That's not the only problem with his birth record or citizenship either. When Obama's mother took him to Indonesia, she created another little problem for little Barack. I maintain that this is a bigger problem than his birth record. She dropped his American citizenship because she wanted him to go to school in Indonesia. Well, in order to go to school there, unlike here in the United States, you have to be a citizen of Indonesia. Indonesia does not have dual citizenship as an option. You go all the way or nothing. Obama's mother went all in, as westernjournalism.com shows. In a passport amendment submitted August the 13th, 1968, Obama's mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, identified her son with an Indonesia surname and asked the State Department to drop him from her U.S. passport. Now, what that really means is that there is no Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, he doesn't exist. So, if he doesn't exist, and if he was elected to be president of the United States as Barack Hussein Obama, and that person doesn't exist, then obviously Barry Soetoro is not eligible to hold office. There is no Barack Hussein Obama. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They really tried to cover all their bases. When I say they, I'm referring to the organization that's behind this clown. And they did a pretty good job, but you can't fool genetics. I mean, you can't. And, if you watch some of my recent videos or my previous videos, I am 100% convinced that not only does Barack Hussein Obama not exist, but who does exist is the son of Frank Marshall Davis Jr. Look at the skin tags popping up all over little Barry's face. Now, go look at the pictures of Barack Obama Sr. Look at the pictures of his supposed uncle. First of all, they're black as coal, and their skin is as smooth as a baby's you-know-what. Then go take a look at Frank Marshall Davis. Take a look at his skin color. Much lighter than Barack Obama Sr., much lighter than Barack Obama Jr.'s uncle. Huh? What really should happen is that Obama should be made to provide his DNA. And the DNA can be compared to the son and the 4 daughters that are alive of Frank Marshall Davis. You want to bet we got a DNA match? Huh? They couldn't allow Frank Marshall Davis to be this clown's father. Obama is the epitome of the Manchurian candidate. That's who he is. That's what he is. Obama was created for this role. He was manufactured for this role. But You can't fool genetics. Just take a look at the face, the skin tags. They're coming out like crazy. And if you take a close look at Frank Marshall Davis and take a close look at this clown that's pretending to be president, take a look below the nose. They're identical. The other thing too that people might not be aware of is the guy that's playing president had a nose job. Yeah, his nose was much more like Frank Marshall Davis, you know, wide, the way a lot of African Americans have that wide nose. That's how Barry's nose was. But he had a nose job to make himself look less like Frank Marshall Davis. It's pretty crazy, folks. We've got a usurper in the White House who's destroying this country, who has committed more crimes against the Constitution, against the American people, than any president ever. And he keeps getting away with them. It's pretty crazy. It's completely insane. I've said this countless times. The only ones that can save us is our military. And if they don't do it, we're all screwed. Yeah. The country will be lost. I'm amazed it survived as long as it has. But it can't survive a whole lot more. This Obamacare, he's destroying our healthcare system. How can a doctor that spent 10 years to become a specialist, a brain surgeon, a cardiologist surgeon, how can they be expected to receive the same compensation as a regular general medical doctor? And I'm not disparaging the medical doctors. All I'm saying is that under Obamacare, according to what I've read, they get compensated equally, which is totally insane. Who's going to want to go and spend an additional 4 or 5 years in training, an additional $400,000 or $500,000 in expenses to become a specialist? What for? It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. But anyway, I'm sort of getting off the beaten track here. We have an absolute usurper playing president. There is no Barack Hussein Obama Jr. There's a Barry Soetoro. And nobody voted for Barry Soetoro. So this madness has to end. And only our military can end it. You don't need an excuse. He's given us all kinds. That's what I think. So what do you think?